Well, hello there. Today we are going to talk about how to remove manifesting blocks from your law of attraction game. You're trying to manifest certain things and you feel like you're up against a brick wall. Why isn't this shit working? I don't feel like I'm doing this right. Right. So we're going to talk about that, how to remove blocks. And of course, it's all up here. So there's really only two things that it could be. So that's cool. You know, it's not overly complicated. The first one is you're way too focused on the how. Like, how is this going to show up? Like, really, this is what they call being focused on the outcome, right? And what being focused on the outcome looks like is just worrying yourself with, well, how is this going to manifest? Like trying to make sure it's going to manifest. And really all you need to do is just trust that it's going to manifest. And of course, right away, you're probably going, well, how do I do that? So we'll talk about that. There is a how to do that. And it's easier than you think. This is all good news today, guys. All good news. The blocks, they're just phony, the block. There's actually no blocks, really. You know, you kind of just need to get out of your own way kind of thing. It's really, guys, manifesting is easier than you think it is. It really is. So that's the first one, is worrying yourself with the how, right? Worrying about the outcome. The second one is basically you're not doing anything, right? So, and I don't think you would be watching this video if that was true. But again, you know, there's a lot to be said there. There is a deeper conversation that I want to have with you around that particular topic, which is, you know, you're not doing anything to manifest what you want. You're not doing the law of attraction at all. Or maybe you're just not doing it quite right. Like, what is the secret? Like, how do I do that? Because you might be new to this and you're sitting there thinking, you know, how do I get started? How does the law of attraction work? I'm going to make it so easy for you today, guys. This is going to be like the best law of attraction video ever. So super simple. All right, so let's circle back to the first one, which is your how. And really all that's going on is you have this thing that you want to manifest, and you might even be getting indicators that it's going to happen, it's going to come true, and you have a knowing, maybe even. This happens to my coaching students all the time. You know, I got my Law of Attraction video program, my paid coaching. We talk about this, and they say, guys, I've been getting this intuition. I know it's going to happen. I really believe it's going to happen, but you know, I need to know what to do here, because if this thing is going to manifest, I've got a choice to make. I could either go about it this way or I could go about it this way. And so I'm kind of at a fork in the road, and I just want to make sure I pick the right things. Because, so for example, maybe it's, you know, they're trying to manifest money, they're trying to start a business, and they're like, yeah, should I do this way or should I do it that way? Because if I start this business, these things could go wrong. And if I start this business instead, these other things could go wrong over here. So I really can't figure out how to do that. And I'm sitting here going, well, here's the thing. If you know, if you believe it's gonna happen and you really believe it, which is the other thing we're gonna talk about, like how to do the law of attraction, right? How to do that. That's the other thing we're gonna talk about. But when you've gotten past that point and you're at the part where you do believe something is going to happen and you're like, yeah, you couldn't talk me out of it. I really believe I'm going to have this thing. That's called faith, right? But now the mind tries to trick you. The ego, it's very tricky. It's very sneaky. It wants to control all the time. And it says, yeah, I got to make sure that this thing happens. But what I'm telling you is if you already believe it, it's done. So you could pick either one of those two paths. Ah, see, I told you this is easier than you think it is. So you're kind of overthinking things and you're analyzing the situation, or you're allowing the mind to analyze the situation. And the mind is going, I know, but here's the thing. I got to pick this choice, or I've got this other choice over here, and I don't want to screw this up. So I got to make sure I pick the right one. And what I'm telling you is you cannot screw this up. When you really believe you're going to manifest something, you're going to. And this particular student of mine that I was talking to, she goes, wait, really? And I go, yeah, really. So it doesn't matter what you pick. And she was getting intuitive hits too, intuition, this knowing about it. Like, yeah, I know I'm going to get it. I know this thing's going to really happen. It's intuition, right? And intuition, guys, that shit's so good. I tell my coaching students to write it down. Keep an intuition journal, right? Because when you get intuition about something, that knowing, that weird, eerie knowing, like, I know it's going to happen, right? It's done. It's absolutely going to happen, right? Well, if you're getting intuition, you believe it's going to happen, and you even got intuition about it, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter which thing you pick. It's gonna happen, dude. Period. And she stopped, and she thought about it. She got all quiet for a second, right? And she goes, you're right. It doesn't matter what I do, right? Because it's divination. When you believe it, like genuinely believe that your manifestation is going to take place. And again, how to make yourself believe, we're going to talk about that next. But when you genuinely believe, and then on top of that, getting intuitive hits, it doesn't matter what you pick. I said, here's one cautionary piece of advice. I guess you could go do something really reckless, like take up a drug habit, something stupid like that, right? You know, like what could you do to screw it up, to sabotage it? Well, you could do something stupid like that, or like quit your job and just don't have any income at all and sit on the couch. Yeah, you're going to get evicted from your apartment, right? So other than really obviously reckless stuff like that, which you're not going to do anyway, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter which path you pick. You're trying too hard. Your how is going to screw it up, right? Because you're allowing the ego to control. And I don't mean ego in the pejorative sense. I mean, you know, the entity, the mind, it wants control. It likes to do that. And, you know, that's basic spiritualism, remembering that you are not the ego, the mind. You are not that. You are the conscious observer of the mind. And I tell my students 80 to 90% of your manifesting game is your Zen game, remembering that you are not your mind. Well, anyway, that's a simple thing, guys. When you really believe something is going to manifest, it doesn't matter what you do. It's going to come through, period. And when you look back, even if you don't understand, like you're sitting here going, yeah, but if I pick this one particular path, I just don't see how it's going to happen. It doesn't matter, because when it does happen, you're going to look back and you're going to go, oh, now I get it. That's why this had to happen, you know, like in this order or whatever. So that's all that is, guys. That's the how. Don't worry about it. This is easier than you think it is. Manifesting. It's awesome. Okay. The other thing is, like, how do you do manifesting? So you're either not doing anything at all, or maybe you're doing it wrong, kind of thing. Or you're close, but you don't feel like you're quite there yet. You know, like I keep trying these things and they don't seem to be working. Well, manifesting is really easy, guys. You just need to know how the machine works. Your body and your mind are manifesting equipment. You could write that down. Your body and your mind are manifesting equipment. So here's a story that I tell my coaching students. I tell them, yeah, I just bought a snowblower. True story. I just bought a snowblower. Now, let's suppose it snows 3 feet and I don't get outside and use the snowblower. I just leave it sitting in the garage. Why? I paid all this money for the thing. It wasn't exactly cheap. You know what I mean? I should get out there and use it, right? Okay, get out there, start pushing buttons, start pulling levers, do something, like start using the machine, right? Why wouldn't you? Well, it's the same as true as your body and your mind. You've got this magnificent manifesting machine. Your body and your mind are manifesting equipment. Write that down. Your body and your mind are manifesting equipment. That's awesome. So you just have to know how to use the machine. You have to know how to use the snowblower, right? Or the whatever. I have an old guitar amp that I haven't used a lot. And the thing is I haven't spent a lot of time learning how to use it. I have it. All I need to do is get on YouTube and watch a few videos. You know, everything you want to know is like on YouTube for free. I just haven't taken the time to do that. I will. I'll get around to it. I've been busy making YouTube videos because this is what my passion is, right? Well, anyway, the same is true here. Okay, so Kurt, I get it. How does it work then? What do I do? Well, the conscious mind is like the gatekeeper. It steers the ship, and the ship that it steers is the subconscious mind, okay? And the ship's, it's like a big, huge cruise ship. And a cruise ship, it could take miles and miles to make one turn, like a big cruise ship, right? They can't exactly stop on a dime or like make a sharp turn. You got to kind of plan things out. So the same is kind of true of your subconscious mind. You can use the conscious mind like the ship's rudder, but recognize that the subconscious mind is stored in the body. It's body memory. So it's going to take a while to reprogram some of that stuff, and that's okay as long as you know what the game is, as long as you know how the rules work and how the machine works. And some people get kind of frustrated when I tell them, yeah, typically like manifesting, it's easier if you work the long game. And if you work the long game, shorter, like smaller manifestations, those come too. They come with that package. I just got a free calendar yesterday. I did. And I wasn't even expecting that. I wasn't even trying. I needed a calendar and I grabbed one off the shelf. I went up to pay and the guy says, I just closed out my cash register. And I go, oh, that's all right. And he goes, well, that's okay. Why don't you just have it? Okay. You're going to let me have it and leave the store with the guy. And he was the owner too. He was like, I don't care. It's fine. You know, it's not a big deal. And I got a free calendar, you know. And it's little stuff like that happens too. I got a check in the mail for $10,000 a couple of months ago. You know, you're going to get stuff like that. But your primary thing is focusing on the long game, like remembering there's a time delay. Some of these things that you want to manifest, they can take time, so you don't get patient and you don't worry about the how. We already talked about that. So you're trying to reprogram the subconscious mind, and it's really easy, guys. The subconscious mind is emotional. It's body memory. It's body memory and it's emotions. The conscious mind is the ship's rudder. You can move the rudder quickly, but will the ship turn quickly? No. You gotta give it a while for the whole entire ship to make a big long turn, right? You can move the rudder really fast, but the ship will take a while. Okay, well, that's just how the machine works. So get started today in creating emotional experiences. This is why people do visualizations. But what I'm telling you to do is play the long game. Be consistent. Consistency is key. Have a daily spiritual routine of creating emotional experiences, and you do it over and 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 over again. And then eventually your body actually starts to believe that it's real. You're creating new body memory. Your body is an amazing thing, guys, if you're using it properly. So you've got old emotional experiences of lack or whatever it is, or belief that like getting a relationship is hard or whatever it is, right? What I'm telling you to do is to use the conscious mind, use the ship's rudder to create visualizations, to cultivate emotional experiences, right? Humans are one of the only animals on Earth that can create emotional experiences at will. It's body memory. And if you do it a million times, if you keep making yourself have these emotional experiences over and over and over and over and over again for many days, for a year, let's just say, eventually your body starts to remember those emotional experiences. And it'll just start to generate those emotional experiences at will. So this is the reprogramming of the subconscious mind. It's just body memory. You're just tricking the body into believing new emotions. Did you say believing? Yeah, I sure did. And this is what I mean. After you do this long enough, you start to believe, right? Like you start to feel an emotion of abundance, like how you're going to feel when you manifest the money or the car or the new house or whatever it is, right? Or how you're going to feel on your date with that good-looking person that you always wanted. Like you maybe have an idea of the kind of person that you'd like to be with or whatever it is, right? You start to believe it. You feel your body, you get out of bed and you just feel this emotion. Because you've been reprogramming it, you've done it so many times, you've created that emotion on purpose using your conscious mind that your body now is responding and saying, yes, this is how I feel now. It just always feels that way because you're creating a permanent emotional fixture in your body. It's body memory. And this is when you start to actually believe it. And you're going, now you can get excited and have gratitude. You can switch into gratitude mode and you start to believe it. And when this starts to happen, that's when you want to get out of your own way and just let the universe do the rest of the work. You don't have to worry about how at that point, once you start to believe it. And it doesn't really matter what you pick. It's just going to happen, guys. You don't have to do anything. Just let God do it. It doesn't matter what you do. Right? Unless you do something, like I said, like really super reckless, right? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you go or how you do things. Your thing will show up. It will. And that's all. It's that simple. Manifesting is the simplest thing ever, guys. It really is. So there you go. I hope you found this video enlightening and helpful. Hit that like button. If you're new here, hit subscribe. And I'll be back next week for another super awesome Law of Attraction video.